Hello everyone. Uh, Today I want to talk about the fourth dimension. I want to talk about higher dimensions. This is kind of just off the top of my head. Fourth dimension. Where do I begin? Higher dimensions of space or time. Like, I know in physics, time is talked about temporally. It's talked about in terms of time. Like, the fourth dimension is time. And it's necessary for the theory to work out, since gravity, it kind of relies on the fourth dimension. Or there's two different ways you can think about dimensions, I guess, spatially or temporally. Dimensions can be a time quantity or a spatial quantity. Usually though, I think most of the time when we think of higher dimensions, we think of space. We think of spatial higher dimensions. But when we think of like the fourth dimension, we think about time. So it's kind of odd, and there might be a misconception. Now, I don't know, obviously, I'm no cosmologist or physicist or string theorist. I don't know how higher dimensions work. But I do know that time being the fourth dimension is different from the idea of there being a fourth spatial dimension. It's possible it's possible to think about it as time being a fourth spatial dimension, but the way we feel, the way we perceive it, or the way we interact with it, like what we know of as time, that's just a byproduct of the fourth dimension, or of four-dimensional space. Kind of like it's like a property, kind of like a property of existing in three-dimensional space is having volume. It could be that existing in time existing in the fourth dimension has time. But then, what is the term hypervolume for? I don't think that would make sense, because that's not to say that hypervolume is time. Like, it doesn't make sense to think, like, if we think about a tesseract, like, if you wanted to measure the hypervolume of the tesseract, you would record a time, assuming that the fourth dimension is time. I don't know. It's odd. It's interesting stuff. I know the fourth dimension would just be a cube cubed, trying to represent the same way we can draw, or we can kind of square a square on a piece of paper. We can create the illusion of a cube on a paper. That's a three-dimensional representation of that's a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional object. To create a three-dimensional representation of a four-dimensional object, let's say a tesseract, it'd be kind of like the same relative dynamics in that it's a dimension below that we're representing it. So if we try to take that same cube illusion that's on a paper and square it again to create a two-dimensional representation of a tesseract, hypercube, then that would be like trying to represent a cube on a line. It's just not possible. There's no way. I don't know if you could convey any information or like usable information about a cube from a line, because you can, like, I don't even know how that would work. I know that in the same way that if we pass through a two-dimensional world, they would see only a slice of our body, only a two-dimensional slice of our body that either grows or shrinks and then just disappears. So like a cube or a sphere, if we imagined a sphere passing through a plane, it would intersect it, and each intersection on that plane would be a circle, right? Because that's a two-dimensional version of a sphere. Well, that's like if you take a slice, assuming the plane is flat, you take a slice of that circle or the sphere, it's going to be a circle. And if you start from the bottom, it's going to be small, maybe like so infinitesimally small. It's like a point, and it just gets bigger, bigger, bigger until it reaches the, I don't know, the diameter's length, and then it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. That's how it would be. That's how a three-dimensional object would be represented, passing through a two-dimensional world, specifically a sphere. So we could imagine that a sphere or a hypersphere entering our dimension would behave similarly. It would start off as a small sphere, and then it would grow bigger and bigger, and then it would shrink and shrink until it would disappear. I wonder how we can represent higher dimensions of space mathematically and computationally so that we can store data in higher dimensions of space. Occupying higher dimensions to store data. I don't even know if that's possible. Or like data that changes with time. I don't know. This video is very unstructured. Incredibly unstructured. I want to make more YouTube videos, but I need to just actually do them. Like, I actually need to just like make more and just do it. Like, I worry too much about the quality of the video, but like video with poor quality is better than no video with no quality, like, I just need to do it. And although it's midnight on a school night, I still decided to do this. I just want to say, I journal a lot, so like, I have ideas. Like, it came across me, like, why don't I just like make videos about my journal entries? Like, I have some interesting ideas that I could share. I just need to know how to get it out right. AI. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. I could use AI to like help me word it out, but I'd have to change it so that I'm at least being somewhat authentic. And AI just, it sounds choppy. It doesn't sound organic. Like, it's just, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I like ChatGPT and AI, and just like, I love it for learning. But I don't want it, I believe that using it too much for creative works could, in theory, weaken your creative muscle. Just because I believe your creativity really, most mental capacities are like a muscle. The more you use it, the more you train it, the stronger it's going to get. But when you don't use it and you let it weaken, it's going to be much harder to do the things that you want to do in the field. So, if in this case, creativity. If you want to be creative, do creative works. You know, make music, create art, code, write stories. Just do whatever is creative to you. Write, you know. And you're training that part of your brain. You're creating the very neural pathways. You're carving out a part of your brain, not literally, I guess, but like you're carving out a neural network in your brain that is responsible for doing said task, and it gets stronger. You create the pathways, more pathways, these pathways get stronger, they get more efficient, and you strengthen the part of your brain that is responsible for any creative work that you're doing. That's why, just do it. We hear that, like I hear that all the time, just do it. Just do it. And that's so true. Like, most of my goals that I achieved most of my goals, but a lot of the goals that I haven't achieved yet, or I'm still in the process of, or a lot of like stuff on my to-do list that I've been putting off, they're not difficult at all. They can be, but they're not difficult at all to just start, the bare minimum. For example, this YouTube video. In theory, I would like to create quality, educational, good content. You know, I want to connect to an audience. I want to not only just get my ideas out, but articulate it in a way that people can understand it, in a way that people are interested and engaged, and in a way that they want to hear more, or it inspires them, and it inspires them to form new thought. I mean, because that's what I like about a big part of why I go on YouTube, is to learn. And YouTube, just learning from others is such a great tool, such a great method for developing new mindsets and just seeing new ways of thinking. It really is. It can lead you on a whole bunch of different rabbit holes. I know, to some, you know, some of the stuff I was talking about could have planted seeds for thought. Some ideas are like seeds. I know I get a lot of ideas in my mind. Sometimes I think about them as really good ideas, and I'm like, wow, that's a good idea. Like, it could be a good idea. It's a seed. And that might go to show that there are tons of good ideas out there. But if you care for all of them and nurture every single one, the chances of all of them fruiting are lower, and the ones that do, they're going to be of low quality. because you haven't directed your full time and energy to it. So, to it. That's what a great way to turn an intellectual conversation into something that is of low humor. But anyway, I'm just going off. Just going off on tangents. I'm gonna end it, and I mean it this time. I mean it. I hope anyone who finds this video, if this even makes it into the final cut after I edit it, I hope that, and this is coming from someone that thinks very deeply about humans. I'm very prideful of humanity, and I love humanity. And I take this human experience very seriously. Very seriously. So, believe me when I say, I truly hope that you do good in life. I truly hope that you become successful in ways that benefit you and society. I truly mean it. Like this, I'm not saying this for the sole act of just saying it, or to be positive, or because I think it's good. Like, I hope it's not, it might be vague, but I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I want anyone who watches this video to be good in life. And that's, peace out. Have a good day.